Thanks again, everyone, for coming out. We are Sanctuary. I'm Jackson Cowart.
I'm Courtney Simone.
I'm Colleen Brown.
I'm Rashana Yeesh, and we are Sanctuary Safety You Can Wear. And so we met with Jenna Harmon. She's a junior here on campus. She's studying psychology. And Jenna feels like she has to take some precautions in order to make sure that she's safe on our campus. She has pepper spray, a very high-tech flashlight she can use in case of an attack, as well as a military-level pen that she described to us that she can use in case of an attack. And so Jenna also told us that her parents helped her acquire these things, and she has reason to feel like she needs to take these precautions to make sure she's safe at UNC. Last year, there were about 581 crimes committed on our campus that resulted in arrests. In addition, out of every 100,000 people in North Carolina, there's about 356 violent crimes, and so we want Jenna to feel like she can stay safe on our campus.
So that brings us to our product, Sanctuary. Sanctuary is a safety bracelet made for emergency situations. What students like Jenna and other people will do is when they're in a threatening or uncomfortable situation, they can press twin buttons on either side of our safety bracelet that will contact any contact they want using SMS and GPS, and it will send a GPS location. Any user can set it to whatever contact they want, whether they want it to be emergency medical services, friends, family members. So just to make sure that they know their message has been sent, a vibration will go through the bracelet, and our bracelet is made of a tough fabric material that will not rip in the case of a physical attack. So what really sets our product apart from the competition is our included app. And our app, most importantly, lets users like Jenna set their emergency contacts. So say Jenna has a summer internship in a city, and she may not really be comfortable where she's living or working. She can set her contacts to be the police. But when she's back on campus, coming back from the library late at night that she mentions she does numerous times a week, she may want to set her contacts to be friends or family members, just to make her feel more safe. So this bracelet also has a number of resources. We have resources for sexual assault cases, we have resources for mental health cases, and we also have statistics and a user's zip code that will really help them understand where they're living and give them information on how to be better safe.
So we are selling Sanctuary for $50 a bracelet, which is the same price that Jenna and other students we interviewed said that their parents would be more than willing to pay for a device that helps better ensure their safety. Along with that, our sleek everyday design allows us to invest more of our time into further bettering our technology to really ensure that safety. While our gender neutrality and affordability allows us to tap into markets not really tapped into through competitors like Safelet and Athena. So our first target customers are parents, and that affordability is particularly important there. So for parents, we really want to hone in on social media, on influencers, on reviewers, basically with the goal to place our product, Sanctuary, on one of those college must-have lists for parents to get for their students about to leave the nest. Our target users are young adults, but really college students. Again, people are about to leave the nest, and for those, we want to use social media so that they know that we are trying to not just promote a product, but really try to ensure their safety.
But before we start selling our product, we want to make sure that we have a product that's worth buying. So for the first 2 months of our operation, we're working on product development. We're going to develop our app, develop our website, develop our product, and make sure that its safety is up to our standard. Starting March, we'll begin that social media campaign. We'll reach out on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. We'll contact those parental influencers who can help educate customers like Jenna and her parents about what safety options they have before they go to school. Come student orientation, Jenna and Jenna's parents, June, July, August, it's their first real experience on a college campus, and we'll be there too, letting them know that they will be safe once they arrive for good. And come August, we'll really roll out our product at the campus events that people like Jenna will be at. Week of Welcome, Panhellenic, Rush, UNC Housing, all those events are high population areas for students, and we'll be there too, letting them know that they'll be safe in our hands. So our break-even point comes in June 2019. At that point, we will have sold 900 bracelets at $50 a bracelet. That's $25 to build it. That's $25 profit margin. By June 2019, we will have actually already offset our costs for that calendar year, but we're not going to stop then. At that point, we'll start expanding to other colleges, reach out to students like Jenna at NC State, NC Central, Duke, already using a market that we have a social media influence in to reach out to more students and make sure that they're safe. So by the end of December of 2019, we will have actually offset our costs cumulative from the entire operation. But like I mentioned, we're not going to stop there. We'll keep going in that local triangle area. By the end of 2020, we will have surpassed $100,000 in revenue just in the triangle. At that point, we'll start expanding to other markets and make sure that we can ensure the safety of college students across the country.
Thank you, and we're Sanctuary.
So I think I know some folks that can connect you with an influencer for the market.
I almost mentioned that too.
It's been fun.
I'm curious, any of y'all wearing any wearables right now? So I think wearables is an interesting marketplace. I think it was a hot idea a few years ago, and now a lot of companies are finding that the adoption rate just isn't what they thought it would be. So how are you going to convince students to purchase this device that they wear on their wrist? I see the benefit of it, but I also see a benefit of an Apple Watch or an Android device or Fitbit. How are you going to convince them to actually wear this?
Okay. Well, you know what? Everybody does have a phone, and again, we mentioned you can't call 911 on your phone, but our bracelet also allows you to contact people in a way that will, oftentimes we'll text our friends when you're at a party and they just don't respond because it's not important. But this automatically lends more credence to the, you get a message from your friend in trouble, and that automatically lends more credence to the fact that, oh, my buddy really needs me at this time. So we also think it's wearable because it's not as expensive as a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. I mean, Fitbits are starting price $99. So that's why we really wanted to make our product a very cost-effective model, and we're marketing toward parents as the buyers and students as the users, because parents are more able to afford this.
And the communication that you're planning on utilizing in the device, is it just going to use your cell phone's data to?
We've spoken with Twilio. I'm not sure if you've heard of them. They're based out of San Francisco. And so what they do is they are the ones that we would be getting the SIM cards from, and those SIM cards would be put into the bracelet. And they would also be providing us with the service that would connect not only the bracelet to the phone, but also if you do decide that you want the contact information to be, like your GPS location to be sent to the police, they're the ones providing that service. And so we would be paying about $2 per SIM card for that. And then when we spoke to them, they also told us with increased orders, so with the more SIM cards we order, the lower the cost of each SIM card.
So, I'm sorry, Twilio?
Twilio.
Twilio, and they're going to be storing all of the geolocation data?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if y'all researched it, but Verizon actually has a similar product. My grandmother has it. It's a bracelet. It's the exact same thing, and there's 5 people on the bracelet that she's able to call at any given time if there's an emergency. The component that I do like is the emergency services component, because that isn't on there. But we pay $5 a month, so it's $60. So I think in that presentation in this space, there are cell phone providers that are providing this. They just market to the elderly population and not the student population. So just one of those to consider.
So what does that SMS message say? So you say you can set it for your friends. I mean, how terrifying would it be for you if you got a text, it's like, this is an emergency alert from your friend Tiffany, she's at this location. Yeah. You have no idea what's going on. She could have just had a fight with her boyfriend, or she could be being assaulted.
So with the SMS, it would just say Sanctuary notified from like X person. Like if Jen is sending it to her friend, it would just be like, here's her GPS location. And then from then on, as a friend, you can decide to say, okay, I'm going to call her, or I'm going to go to this location. Like if Colleen mentioned, if you're at a party, your friend is going to want to find you, but then if you decide to set it to the police or EMS, they're going to want to come to you if they're getting notified of someone's GPS location.
So do you set the recipient at the time of the message going out, or do you set it in advance?
You set it in advance.
So what if you wanted to, you set it for your friend Tiffany because you're at a party, and then on the way home from the party, completely independent, you're in a car accident?
Yeah, that is the one downside to our product. I mean, we've been looking at potentially having, you can set to both friends and emergency services, so that's one workaround. That is the one downside, that you may be in a situation you plan for one thing and a different thing happens.
Well, I love it that you're pointing out the downsides, because there's always going to be a trade-off. There's a pro and benefit to any product that you have. And one of the things that stands out that's unique about yours, and that I very much appreciate, are the resources that you have on there. So the people who would wear this, if they choose to wear it, they may be concerned about sexual assault, for example. In other places in the area, if they wanted resources, they would have to call, say, Interact over in Wake County or the Compass Center in Chapel Hill. Have you thought about working with any of those centers to get their directory of information?
We have not, but we have considered adding more resources than just what was in the presentation, more so than just sexual assault and mental health resources to add to the app as well.
Fantastic, because they definitely spent years putting those resources together, and they would be happy to share them. My other question, the moment that you started listing off Jenna's arsenal, what is UNC's policy on having weapons on campus?
So it's really interesting because no weapons, physical weapons whatsoever, so she doesn't feel like she can take her pen that her parents bought her before she came to campus. In any sporting event, you can't take anything in, no pepper spray, no taser, nothing like that. So you're only allowed defensive systems.
And that seems like a huge reason why people would want your product.
Yes.
I have two comments, not so much questions. I actually have seen a product that you pitch from a student competition go live, and it's profitable right now. That's very similar to yours, so I think there's great potential. And I want to applaud you for also being so